Okay. We should be live now. Hello one, hello all. My name is Mitchell Mander. And welcome to my live stream. Today we're going to be talking about Pokemon Horizons, episode 108, aka Diana Comes Back! Yeah! Had to do it. Anyways, so, how was this episode overall? Well, before we get on with the episode here, just a few things to get started off here. While we wait for people to show up in the chat. We already have a few people here, but just a few things for those that are brand new here, coming across this stream for the first time. Presumably after it airs. And it's a long, like 1 hour, hour and a half video, however long this goes. Usually what we do here is I usually give it about 5 minutes for people to show up. And then around 5 to 10 minutes, around that mark, I'll give my summary of the episode, give my thoughts, assign a rating to it, and then I hand it over to the chat. At that point, I usually have to catch up on chat, but we talk for a little while, and then, yeah. Typically, we go on about an hour, hour and a half. Sometimes less, sometimes more. Depends on, how the episode is and how many people are present. But that's the typical range for these streams. Usually do them on Saturdays at 12 p.m. Eastern Time Zone. However, there will be some exceptions, especially if I'm out of town or on vacation or whatnot, or something comes up. Typically, I'll hold them on Sunday. It's typically going to be Saturdays, 12 p.m., but if I can't do it on Saturday, we'll do it on Sunday. Speaking of which, for next week's stream, we're going to be doing it on Sunday rather than Saturday, since I am actually going to be busy at the time that the stream would be normally airing, so can't do it next Saturday, but we'll be doing it on Sunday. The week after we'll be back at the normal time, and then the one after that I'm out of town again, so yeah, that'll be on Sunday night. So more info on that when the time comes. Another thing to mention here really quickly is that the music you hear from in the background of the stream comes from a separate stream, the Video Game Study Lounge, link in the description, by Game Chops. Pretty much it is a lo-fi video game music remixes along with some originals sprinkled in here and there. Typically you'll hear stuff from Pokemon, Final Fantasy, Zelda, Mario, Chrono Trigger, like pretty much any popular gaming series that's been out for like a long time is typically featured here. So speaking of one of them, there's a Zelda lo-fi remix going on right now, so cool. Anyways, yeah, I should check it out sometime, presumably after the stream ends. That'd be cool. Anyways, let's see who's all here. We got Steven, what's up? There's the anime is getting given a lot of story beats, and then we got megas that are coming out every week apparently. Hopefully we don't get that every single week, otherwise you're just gonna spoil the whole game, like they did with Sun and Moon back in the day. Which is weird to say back in the day, but that was 9 years ago now. What's up, Pokefan? This episode is pretty alright. Honestly, I have really no complaints about it, and feel Charcadet is definitely improving and pulling its weight despite it just being caught. Agreed. What's up, Harlster? Briar legit hasn't slept in ages. Girl drank 20 Red Bulls. Yeah, somehow, yeah, she's on the Poke Red Bull equivalent. And it's another people annoyed at Liko losing episode. They can get over it. It also was training, so there's no reason to get upset. I'll be here for the 109 to 11 live discussion. Yep. People were complaining about Liko losing. Well, that's their problem. That's all I gotta say. Though that we finally get to see Rotom and the Pokemon and not Rotom the digital assistant, because it's like almost always now just a phone. Yep, agreed. They say, but she beat Diana already. How is she losing? Which shows they don't watch the show because Diana has been active, getting stronger while Liko has been at school for your time skip. And we'll get into that in a second. I do have something to say. Kind of goes along with what happened in the episode. That training getting stronger. I mean, she technically did get stronger because she kind of did keep up with Roy in their battle at the beginning of the arc. But yeah. Don't even get me started on people complaining. I want to bash my head against the wall with these people. Yep. And that's why I kind of just don't really pay attention to it anymore. I actually have a question. Say, if you catch a Rotom, can you put it in your phone? And say you're given a Rotom phone, can you get the Rotom out of the phone and use it in it to battle? So far, I don't know. Seems like they're just using Rotom for everything, which is kind of starting to become a trend that I'm not sure I'm liking anymore, to be honest. Started with the Rotom decks, but then it just kind of became Rotom phone, and that's kind of what it's been delegated to. I love red Tauros. It can't allow Taros. It can allow you to use the move Fly. You can Chloe's dad gave Ash go 2 of his Rotom from a Pokeball in their phones. And then they just went to the phone. Permanently. Makes sense that Tough is evolving in the next episode since we knew it was going to evolve soon. Okay. 7 out of 10. I feel like that will catch another Pokemon in Paldea. We'll see. I do have some thoughts on the episode. I'm just kind of trying to save it for when I get to the review part here. Is Diana your type, Mitchell? I can ship you. Look, Devin. I'm 65, okay? No. Just saying. She's pretty chill, though. Cool grandma. By the way, where's Grandpa? Rip, maybe? I feel like it's being set up for them all to catch more Pokemon, or at least some of them, and get the hero Pokemon back. You know, I do have some thoughts on that holster, but I'm going to still save it for my summary, which is coming up here in a minute. I've kind of stretched it out a little bit longer than I normally do. Arcanine with Shades. It's funny to me. Which, you know what, we're not going to delay it any further. We're going to go ahead and start the summary portion for the stream. I'm going to stop where Sharon said Arcanine with Shades, and then I'll resume with the chat once I'm done with my summary. So you can keep chatting, but I will get to your comments here soon enough. We'll start back up with Thomas's comment. What's up, by the way? So let's get started talking about episode 108 of Pokemon Horizons. Looks like we're in the desert in Paldea, and Liko's mom said, hey, go to this location and stay there. Why? She doesn't say exactly, but we find out that it's because they're reuniting with Diana, who literally shows up in a Reverum car, just chilling with Arcanine. Like, what? This lady, I swear. But, she's been off doing her own adventures, because she just, never loses that youthful side, I guess. But, anyways, yeah, we've reunited with Diana. And one thing that I thought is kind of interesting is I like how her and Alt, hit it off, immediately, which is kind of interesting, considering how shy he is with women. So I thought that was kind of neat. But she comes with new information. Because she actually met up with Hamber. And, he can't really do anything now. He's on, high alert. Because Agate is just, spying on him. Showing up with just teleporting there and then teleporting out. So it's not like he can do much right now. So, unfortunately, even though he's helping them from within, he's kind of limited on his activities and what he can actually do now. So they're keeping him in check, unfortunately. So, anyway, she brings news about Terapagos and how to fully eradicate the Rakuium. It seems like the stellar form Terapagos is needed for it. We kind of knew that was kind of the case back in the end of the Rayquaza Rising arc. But it didn't fully eradicate the Rakuium, and it turns out it not only needs the power from the 6 hero Pokemon, but Diana speculates that it needs the power from all 18 all types of Pokemon present. And the only ones that were present, really, from their side was, Liko, Roy, and Dot's, starter Pokemon, and then Captain Pikachu, because it was like grass, water. From what I could gather, it was grass, water, fire, and electric. I find it's kind of strange because Captain Pikachu wasn't participating in the battle against Lucius. What about Amethio's Cerulege? Does that not count? Maybe I kind of misread that whole thing, but I almost feel like maybe they should have counted that too. Counted some of the other Pokemon that were present. Oh well. But it seems like the key to possibly eradicating the Rakuium is that for all Pokemon types to be present alongside the hero Pokemon with Stellar Terapagos. Which means we might need to catch some new Pokemon here. Or at least have some more characters present at the time. So, more on that in a little bit. It actually kind of gives me an idea for a potential future video. Maybe something I can make once this arc goes on break. But yeah. Anyways, that seems like that might be the key to figuring how to get rid of the Rakuium. They also end up calling Miss Briere, and unfortunately she's no help. She's in the middle of publishing her research results. She's got a little bit of a deadline. She hasn't slept in days. So, we're kind of, letting her go for now. So, probably she'll come back at a later date once she's published her work. But anyways, yeah. Now, they're trying to figure out kind of where the 6 hero Pokemon could be. And Alt mentions that, hey, didn't one of them look like they have an axe? And then there's a Lapras with a scar? Yeah, I saw them. And it turns out that it seems like Spinel is kind of transporting the hero Pokemon. Probably doing it between different Exceed bases. Doing so that way, they're not in one location all the time. That way the right tacklers don't break in there and then break them out. So more than likely they're not going to be at that location where Alt spotted them. So more on that in a little bit. They hear some noise outside and it looks like Charcadet is training with Crocodile. Diana's like, oh, hey, who's that Pokemon? And Liko's like, oh, yeah, I caught that. And she decides to have a little training session with Liko. A double battle, so to say. We have Meowscarada and Charcadet versus Arcanine and what they thought was Revavroom. Actually turned out to be Rotom, but Wash Rotom. So yeah, a little bit of a training session here. Not a serious battle, but they were still, training nonetheless. One of the things that was kind of interesting is that one of Charcadet's weaknesses was exposed here. And that it wants to protect. However, it's trying to fight on its own. So it's trying to protect Meowscarada at the same time. And essentially basically not working well together with it. And as a result, it actually gets into a situation where it actually has to be protected by Meowscarada, who ends up taking a super effective flamethrower. And Diana actually points out to it that, yeah, you can't just fight alone. If you really want to protect something, if you want to protect your trainer and stuff like that, you got to work in harmony with, the other Pokemon as well. You need to learn to work together. So it's kind of interesting because, kind of takes this to heart a little bit, and then it's kind of a 1v2 at this point because Meowscarada is kind of out of commission. But Charcadet actually manages to defeat Wash Rotom. And it's actually kind of an interesting way that it beat it too. It just swung it around and then, took it down with Takedown, which I thought was interesting. So we learned that it knows Takedown. So I thought that was kind of neat. Unfortunately, it also learns a fire spin in this battle too. Initially, Liko has it use a bunch of embers, but it actually turns into fire spin. Unfortunately, Charcadet is not enough to defeat Arcanine at this point. It's still got a little ways to go for the little guy to get, at least stronger. It's making it's making baby steps right now, but it's making progress. But ultimately is unable to defeat Arcanine. And so the training session is over. And so they're hanging out, they're having dinner at the end of the day, since it's been a while since everyone's seen Diane. She wants to come back when Freed's finally back. And that's when they're kind of trying to figure out, okay, if they can't, they can't utilize Hamber, what can we do here? And then that's when Liko's like, hey, why don't we talk to Amethio's dad? Why don't we talk to Crave? Well, I don't know if she calls him Crave, but they're like, yeah, actually that might be a good idea, so we should probably reach out to him, and see what we can do, even though he's probably under surveillance as well. Probably the best time to kind of go for him instead, just because Hamber can't really do anything. Amethio's kind of out and about now, so Spinel's going to be kind of distracted there, so maybe it's a good idea they go talk to Crave, because maybe he's not quite as tightly under surveillance as the others. So yeah, they're going to go and talk to him, and maybe they'll figure out where the base is where the hero Pokemon are stored at. So that's pretty much where this episode comes to an end. Overall, I thought this episode was pretty good. Not really too many complaints here. I thought it was a good episode for Charcadet's development. More story, progression, learning what we need to do to fully eradicate the Rakuium. We know where the, Alt finally shares the information that, he saw the 6 hero, or 5 of the 6 hero Pokemon, that when he was captured a couple episodes ago. Or 2 episodes ago, I should say. Or 1 episode ago, I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying. Yeah. So I like the story progression here. I think the stuff with Charcadet was good. I don't really see the complaints about Liko losing this battle. Yes, she did win against Arcanine with Florgato, but let's keep in mind that Meowscarada, even though it's stronger and it was, doing its flower tricks earlier on in the battle, it kind of had to take that hit for Charcadet, otherwise it was going to take that hit full on. And no offense to Charcadet, or no offense to Meowscarada, but Charcadet's the one that kind of needs the focus here, since it is the newer mon and it, is starting to get some good progression. And I'm just hoping that Heteram doesn't get completely ignored, because it hasn't really done much lately. So hopefully maybe that'll, it evolves soon. I know we're getting an evolution next week, but, maybe that'll be something for Arc 6. Get our final evolutions for some of the characters' Pokemon. But, for me, this episode, it was alright. It was not bad, not the best either. It was a cool episode for Diana to come back. I'd probably give it a 7 for me. Would be my rating. And what do you guys think? Let's try to catch back up on chat, because you guys have been chatting away, and let's see if we don't spend the next 30 minutes trying to catch up. So here we go. Starting with Thomas's comment. I think that in the final battle against Spinel, the Friends of the Rising Attackers will come and bring more Pokemon. That's a good point. That's where I have some thoughts on what's gonna happen. I don't think that Liko, Roy, and Dot and all they're gonna have full 6 teams by the end of the series. I mean, Liko's kind of pushing it now that she's got 4 Pokemon, so she only needs 2 more for that. But it's possible that the other Rising Tacklers are going to fill the gaps for, the having all types present. I think I got a future video in mind for that. So after watching this episode, it's got me thinking. Maybe something in a month or so. I'll probably start working on it when I get a second. Not gonna lie, there's still people who are angry and say Liko's a cheater because she used Terapagos against Katie. This fandom never wants to let that crap go. I would ignore them. They're just complaining. They're talking to a wall at this point. That Arcanine is and the truck looks huge. Was it always that big? I guess this one's a big boy, Devin. Oh Lord, he's coming. He's a big, big boy. So I think Charcadet will evolve in the first half of the next arc. Possibly. Also, I love the use of the vehicle Rakuium. If they ain't gonna use Team Star, that's a good substitute. Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, yes, Team Star is dead in the ditch at this point. At least you got Penny, which her representation in the series has been kind of minimal, but okay. Diana's not your average grandma, she's super grandma. And Charcadet was going to learn Fire Spin. I see. I expect Alt and Roy to be on the back burner and more focused on Liko and Dot for the time being, since Alt and Roy get the flashback in October. That is a good point. They're going to get their time to shine here, and Dot and Liko are not going to be present in that arc. I think the end of the arc might be like basically essentially setting up the beginning of Mega Voltage. I wouldn't be surprised if the arc ends with Roy getting that phone call from Dot about the Rakuium signs. And that's Dot's only appearance in that arc. So my guess is that they will need to catch Pokemon of the missing types to have the power needed to fully power Stellar Terrapagos to eradicate all the Rakuium. Either that or some of the other Rising Bolt tacklers are going to need to kind of jump in with their other types too. Or some of the other Pokemon on the ship could also fulfill that. But we'll see. I think each Pokemon counts as one type, so Dot's Quaxwell could be for where their Lapras is used for ice, for example. That is a good point. I was thinking about Kilowattrel too, because Captain Pikachu could be there for the electric representation, and Kilowattrel could be there for the flying representation. And like Dragonite could be Dragon, Sableye Dark. I guess that kind of takes the place for, that could work there. Heteran could be Fairy. Or could, yeah. Or Psych, What is a... Okay. Or Tinkatuff, I don't know. My brain just broke for a second there, guys. I gotta come up with a list. I don't have like every single Pokemon they have on the ship, but maybe they hit all types. Not sure. I have to double check that. Also, maybe they could use other Rising tactics and ship. Yep, exactly what I was saying. The ending may be similar to the X and Y and Z, where all the gym leaders showed up at the battle versus Team Flare. That could be where we're heading. Like everybody that they've been meeting kind of shows up. That'd be kind of neat, actually. So the types of the main characters are Grass, Dark, Psychic, Fire, Normal, Electric, Flying, Fighting, Steel, Water, Fairy, Ghost. Are we missing anything? I don't see Ground. Also, I forgot to mention it, but I love the small detail of having... What is going on, YouTube? Really? Dude, it was like... The chat was just like moving on its own. It was weird. Having Cleavor and Lapras together in one place. Right? Kind of neat, huh? Not knocking the writers. I do hope they do more character work for Terrapagos, because most of the time it feels like a plot device. Yeah, that, and it's just adorable. I don't know what else they can do for the little guy. He's just a little curious little guy that just happens to be really powerful. Don't they have normal though? Because I don't think Terrapagos itself counts as one of the 18 types needed. I think they may need another normal type. I was gonna say I don't think Terrapagos. I think Terrapagos is essentially the arbiter there. So it needs other Pokemon to kind of just enhance it. So they're missing Rock, Ground, Dark Dragon, well, Dragonite, Ice, Bug, Poison. Well, Alt's Dragonite or Sableye. Yeah, I was gonna say Dark and Dragon, that should be satisfied with Alt. It's nice that the Charcadet had a move set, which means it probably won't team any more moves until it fully evolves. My apologies, I should be a bit more descriptive. I'm not saying that either of the characters can't be plot devices. They are by definition, but I'm saying it's mostly used just for fights. You know what I mean? I get what you mean, Devin. I mean, I do like that Terapagos kind of just like, even though he's like got all these powers, he is like a little curious guy. But yeah, I'm guessing their Charcadet has flame body and not flash fire. I think so. Or is it? Yeah, because it gets stronger if it absorbs or gets hit with a fire attack. Though that flamethrower was going to take it out earlier. I see Hatterem learning 1 or 2 more moves, and Charcadet evolves. It for sure will have Armor Cannon and learn another new move. As for Charcadet or Cocalaria, will learn at least 1 more move. Kilowatts will at least 1 more move, and Lucario will have a full move set. As for Quaxwell, it will learn 1 more move, and then Tinkatuff evolves their 5th move, Gigaton Hammer. Gimmighoul may use like 1 or 2 moves to Astonish or Chowball, and then gets 3 other moves when it fully evolves. Speaking of Gimmighoul, we got more coins for it in this episode. It's slowly making its way to 1,000. I meant water there. No, my bad. By the way, I just did this off my chest, but I don't know why people say Masquerada took the L this episode, because she never fainted. She didn't faint. She essentially stepped in to take the attack for Charcadet. What are people not getting there? It was just training, too. Also, Charcadet took down the Wash Rotom, so that should be an accomplishment right there, don't you think? Also, before I continue any further, if you guys could do me a favor and hit that like button, I would definitely appreciate it. And remember to vote in the poll. Can we get to 10 likes, maybe? That'd be cool. Please and thanks. Hatterem is the only psychic they have, aside from Metagross, I guess, so they could use that for psychic type. That's the psychic spot. That is true. So would they... I'm guessing they would have to use a move and like at the same time as Terapagos is doing that. I don't know. Right now it's just a theory, but like maybe they can figure out what needs to be done over time or something. Based on the opening, it looks like friends, maybe like Nemona, will show up to fill the other types. That is a possibility. There's a new meme reaction face for Charcadet. Really? Megas for Trainers video? Charcadet has to develop more on having better teamwork. Well, this was kind of a step towards that, Sharon. This getting other Pokemon plot point kind of reminds me of the task you have to do to purify Shadow Lugia in the purification chamber. Ooh. For rock, you have Murdoch's Lycanroc. For normal, you have Molly's Mousehold. You got Flash Fire. Charcadet was blocking the fire attacks for Masquerada by absorbing the fire moves for its Flash Fire ability. No, Mitch, that's where you and me are apparently wrong, because according to others, she is unredeemable. Unredeemable little shrimp who must be flawless, and has to win or else she's automatically badly written. Hey, let me guess, Pokefan. Is it a certain somebody that definitely doesn't definitely doesn't hate Liko or anything specifically and blames her for everything? Is that who I'm thinking of? That person? Just a guess. Armor Rouge gets Armor Cannon and Expanding Force. That's the whole reason why Diana combined the fire attack with the water move. So Charcadet, while trying to absorb the fire move, it'd be decimated by the water move. Yep. And Meowscarada had to take the hit. Which she has to be. Hatterene gets Psychic and Dazzling Gleams. Basically, she has to be a Mary Sue-like character. Nothing. I was gonna say, no way. I like the fact that, was Ash a Gary Stu? No. Why are we kind of trying to make Liko be like a Mary Sue? That doesn't make sense. Him and many others. The backlash this time is bad. I don't get why. Are we not watching the same series? Did we not just say this was training? Did we not see that the fact of the matter is Meowscarada kind of had to take that hit, otherwise Charcadet was getting taken out? And don't you see that this was supposed to be development for Charcadet? Not saying that Meowscarada is just done or anything, but Meowscarada's, had plenty of development in the series. Let the little guy get some shine. We just caught him, like not even 10 episodes ago. He kind of needs a little, some focus here and there, right? Kilowattrel should get discharge and either aerial ace or dual wing beat. Let the little guy get his development. Yeah, exactly. I do like the idea that Charcadet is trying to learn to be protective while being independent. I think we could potentially help it work on it, and this would make up because didn't get to Bon originally, right? And I just like the fact that Diana pointed out its weakness to it. I was like, hey, I know you want to protect, you're here to protect, but if you sit there and you try to do everything on yourself, you're going to basically, ruin the synchronization of your team. You're breaking that up. That's why Meowscarada got hurt there. So it's like you got to kind of learn from this. I'm like, what are people not seeing from this? You got an experienced Mon and a rather inexperienced Mon, battling, Diana, who both of her Pokemon are experienced, so, it's going to be imbalanced. It's also training, so let's not forget that. But, people apparently can't. Because apparently Liko has 0 wins, and the cave battle doesn't count to them since she cheated and used a legendary, so Liko is a walking, living hell. Anyone that says that does not know what they're. All right. Quote. You can quote this if you want to, but anyone that says that Liko is a walking L that has no legitimate wins, yeah, they don't know what they're talking about. They're either just hate watching the series, or they're not watching the series for the right reasons. I mean, there's plenty to criticize in Horizons, and that's not one of them. Just saying. I think we should let Kilowattrel actually get some time to shine before it gets new moves. I would really like it to do something, because I like that this arc has kind of made the Pokemon more present. That was one of my complaints in earlier Horizons, but Kilowattrel's still kind of just there. Can we get an episode where it does something, maybe learns a new move or something? I'll take anything at this point. I know in the upcoming Kalos flashback, Shiny Lucario is going to get some focus since we're going to figure out how Roy, gets it. But it'd be nice if, Kilowattrel was involved in the training too, because so far it looked like Rocklar is the only one involved. So maybe we can get it, to do something, maybe, please, and thanks. I just have that people are so hate that people are so obsessed with the win and loss rates. Yeah, Liko has no wins. That's literally false. I didn't like it, but she defeated Coney off screen earlier in the series. That was her first W. She beat Anne, She beat Katie that one time. She beat Roy a bunch of times before she finally lost to him. So, like, no. Kilowattrel is the secondary mon to be done the most dirty. Yeah, Headram is next. At this point. Headram needs to do something soon. She has at least 5 wins minimum that I can think of. And she got that she got legitimately agreed. So yesterday someone said that the explorers are making 0 progress and that Horizon sucks because Spinel is a badly written villain who made 0 steps to achieve anything since Gibeon passed on. Yeah, they're just making Pokefan. They're just making stuff up at this point because yeah, they've done nothing. Like in the last year, the explorers just fell apart, and Exceed as a company went went bankrupt because they lost Gibeon. In the story. He tried to get Raku, like the mountain where Rakuium is at, off limits, and then he failed, and then Officer Jenny took him to jail. The end. There's no Pokemon Horizons 2, it's just an illusion. Mitch, will you do a video on the new episode titles and summaries in September when episodes 110 and 111 title summaries get revealed? You don't need to ask me that, by the way. That's typically something that I'll do. However, my philosophy has changed. If I get episode titles but I don't have a proper summary and I don't really have anything to go off of with that, I'm not going to make a video on that. Just a warning for like upcoming, for future like episode titles that drop. If I don't have a summary and it's not interesting enough, I won't make a video on it. But if I get a summary and it's more interesting, then sure. So if I get those episode titles and I don't have summaries that are not interesting enough, I don't know I'm going to make a video on it. Unless the title tells me something that I'm like, oh, yep, got to talk about that. Just kind of how I kind of change things up. Because otherwise I'm just like basing my video off of like nothing really. Just like, I think this is what will happen in the episode, basically. And then the opposite happens, and then people yell at me. Tinka Tough got 2 focus episodes this arc. Did it? I thought I only got just this one, though. Wasn't that last one evolved? Maybe. Remember when someone said Kilowattrel was already a perfectly developed Pokemon? Wow, that makes my brain hurt this day. Yeah. At that point, I'm like, sure, buddy. You believe that if you want to. And look, pigs fly, okay? I mentioned the strong spheres, and that's not an acceptable accomplishment? Excuse me? Yeah, that I call cap. Konya and Roy. Katie. Onyxodon. Titan. Yeah, the last one too is an admin too of the Explorers, and he literally acknowledged it. He's like, "Oh, I'm Onyx of the Explorers. I acknowledge you, Liko." Not to mention, a certain somebody that like denied Liko, a passing grade for the Terrestrial course, decided to, change his mind after seeing that, by the way, that last battle. So, yeah. She ain't weak. I'm tired of people saying she's weak. She ain't weak. Harem got a focus episode this arc, but not Kilowattrel. Hopefully he doesn't say I get full teams. That can't be an excuse with the Liko and Dot to get megas. I'm still on the fence of them actually getting Pokemon that will mega evolve though. Dude, this dog next door is like annoying me too. Don't know if it's picking up on the mic, but they are just barking up a storm over here. There's 5 right there, and I haven't even deep dived into all their battles. Roy's supposed to be the stronger battler, which is what we are seeing. Especially after 1 year of training, by the way. 1 year of solid training, along with getting, keystones in Mega, and being able to Mega Evolve a Pokemon. Let's not forget that. I remember the fact that the person still thinks Kilo is well written and had a 10 out of 10 battle record. They gotta be trolling, dude. The one with Stunkfisk. Oh yeah. That is right. I forgot about that. And we all thought it was gonna evolve there, now that I remember. Now I think about it. I'm sorry for the rant, I just get so tired of people never actually watching the show or using 1% of common sense. It's not my channel, but can you guys consider not parroting toxic, nonsensical complaints about the series? If you know it is nonsensical, just ignore it. It's an anime. Yeah, you know, that's a good point, Thomas. Maybe we should relegate it to Discord, if that's alright with you guys. Maybe kind of keep it off the streams. I don't mind talking about it. It gets a little silly sometimes, but yeah. This dog is really bothering me, dude. Can you guys hear the dog? There it goes off again. They won't shut up. You know, let me just post a factual list of complaints about Mega Voltage and Anipoke Extension because it's laughable. Yeah, go ahead. Well, let's just keep it to the Discord, I guess, from now on. Thoughts on Mega Halucha? It's alright. It got a cape. But Mega Halucha is definitely my favorite. You know, the one thing that I will give it this. At least it's not a Kantomon getting a Mega Evolution again. So, yeah. Maybe from another region get a Mega? That would be cool. Mega Voltage isn't perfect, nothing is, but it always keeps getting a bad rap. I don't understand the bad rap, because I was going to say, whenever I do these streams, 9 or 10-9 wins every time. Almost every time. But yeah. I was going to say 10-9 typically wins here. I was going to say, I think this... I gotta think of how I really think about this arc, because like I was gonna say, this is out of all the arcs that we've gotten in Horizon, I think this has been the most consistently like good, actually. There's only like maybe like a handful of episodes I consider kind of weak on the weak side, but besides that, I think that this arc has been actually pretty solid, in my opinion at least. It's been fairly consistent. There's been a lot of patience used because we're finally getting that we're getting that Lucario development that we've all been wanting forever in October, so that's coming. So, yep. Arcanine would be a great Pokemon to cuddle with since he's a big, fluffy boy. Yeah, I can apologize. A little is okay, but use your brain. Don't get upset just because someone trolls you on the internet. Yeah, we'll just keep it to Discord, I guess, going forward. I don't mind, sometimes it's a little funny, I guess. Where I'm just like, really? But yeah. Mega Lucha's peak, Mega Lucha. You could see the new character in the Kalos flashback training arc having a Mega Halucha? You think so? Not gonna lie, I'm curious how Diana got a Rotom wash specifically, since I doubt there's just a washing machine in the wild, right? I thought she mentioned something in the episode about it. I kind of have to go back and rewatch it because I feel like because they were talking about it, like, oh, we didn't expect that. I have to go back and kind of revisit that part. I remember her saying something about it. I just don't remember what exactly. Not the hardest thing to find, a washing machine. Just go to the store. Not in the wild. Unless someone threw it out there. I got confirmation what the Mega Train teacher's name is. Isn't it like mayonnaise or something? Master Mayonnaise. Totally not related to mustard. Dude, get this. What if the next mastery meat in the series is Master Ketchup? And then Caesar salad. I'm anchovy. Right. Who's texting me? Anyways, back to the stream. Maybe she had her own washing machine that she just used. That could be the case. I'd say so, maybe. Also, I just want to stop here again and say, hey, if you haven't already, go ahead and like the stream. We're at six likes. 4 more to 10, guys. Can we do it? And we have only 9 votes. It's a little bit lower than normal. Can we at least bump it up to 10? Maybe? 56% says 10-9, 44% says 8-7, and no votes for 6-5 or lower than 5. Is it bad I forgot she has a squawkabilly? No, it's okay. I was gonna say she doesn't really utilize it a whole lot, but it didn't. I think it showed up in the episode though. It was kind of in the background though. Master Maple, maple syrup. I'm getting hungry, guys. Now I gotta figure out what I want for lunch now. To be fair, it's a squawkabilly. It's not the most memorable Pokemon. Yeah, it's kind of it's just there. It's one of the more mid ones. Who was Rico's grandfather? We may never know, Sharon. We may never know. Diana's love interest. Little did we know it was Hamber all along. Shocking, I know. That's the only possible answer that can be given. Kind of random question, but anyone seen this show called Smiling Friends? On the other night, and it's like, oh yeah, I've watched Smiling Friends. It's great. More on the adult side of things, but yeah, it's made by YouTubers too. That's the interesting thing about it. There are Paldean Pokemon we have not seen yet. Spidop. Fiddle. Mischief. Arctobax. Maybe we'll see them soon, maybe. Dana's husband is just her imagination. It was the friends we made along the way, Pokefan. Spider Fan is enjoyable. We've seen Spite Ops though, haven't we? Didn't we see that back in the episode where we went back to where Sprigatito was like, where it was like raised at or something like that, and then eventually went off to Lico or something? Spidos. Am I right? Wasn't it that episode where Terapagos ran off and got caught up by one? That's what I was thinking. As soon as I said that, or Sharon brought that up, I was like, wait a second, I think I remember seeing that in an episode. There's a lot of Paradox Pokemon we haven't seen. Do you think we're actually going to go back to Area Zero at this point? Maybe if we do go back to Area Zero, maybe Roy will actually get Sandy Shocks. Wouldn't that be neat? If Lico can get Charcadet and Dot can get Gimme Ghoul, maybe Roy can get Sandy Shocks. Oh yeah, he could use that for ground if he does. You bring up a good point, Harlster. Maybe that will be our ground type representation here. Boom, problem solved. Walking Wake, Raging Bolt, which I don't even know. I mean, I guess technically they could still show up, but like, I don't know. We'll see. Iron Leaves, Iron Crown, Iron Boulder, Iron Moth, Iron Bundle, Iron Hands, Iron Jungle, Iron Thorns, Blood Remain. Do you think we're going back to Area Zero? You just know we're never seeing the treasures of ruins in the anime. Yep. Rip. I doubt we'll see much more. Justice for Iron Bundle. Dang. Well, we would need a specific reason to go down there. They could have made it so it's like, well, we got to go back to Area Zero to figure out, you know, maybe get Terapagos to like power up or something. I don't know. Since that's where it's from, I don't know. There's also that area below Area Zero that we're probably never touching because we never even went further into Area Zero. No Ogerpon. Yeah, I know, Sharon. There's plenty of Pokemon that we haven't seen yet. Or we might not even see. Hope we get a Horizons movie for the Treasures of Ruin. Or one based on Ogerpon too. Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan. I've said before, I'm not the biggest fan of the movies, but at least one Horizons movie would be nice. And then a one with Ogerpon involved with it would be kind of neat. Treasures of Ruin mini arc could be neat. But how would it fit into the current plot that's going on? Would be my question. Diana also mentioned capturing mini Pokemon during the time skip, so she probably has many other Pokemon. Oh yeah. Maybe we could use that for the other types. Probably won't happen, but the Horizons anime deserves at least one movie. At least one would be nice. Like, I understand that the movies went in a very, a different direction once I Choose You happened. We never really got a proper Sun and Moon movie. And then for the series that shall not be named era, we got a remake of Mewtwo, which I think that actually happened beforehand, actually. So I guess technically that was during the Sun and Moon era still. But all we got was the Jungle movie. Secrets of the Jungle. Coco. That's not part of, like, that was all AU Ash again. And then that was it. Unfortunately, that pretty much, the whole thing that happened in 2020 kind of put a kibosh on the whole thing. And the anime's kind of been struggling since then, production-wise. Very unfortunate. Horizon movie would be great. Yep. At least one. I don't want a movie every year anymore. I think that's just not feasible anymore. But like at least like one would be nice. Even if it's a non-canon movie to the plot, I think a movie is deserved. Agreed. If there is a movie, it should be where they meet Ash, and this would not interfere with the main story. That was the video I literally made a year ago. When I made the, like, or was it a year ago or was it this year? I think it was on. No, it might have been last year. I can't remember. I made a video a while back where I basically said, "Hey, you know, if Ash is to come back in the series, this is how I think it's gonna happen. I don't think it's gonna happen in the main series, but like the best way to do it is to do it in a movie." That way it doesn't interfere with the main plot. It doesn't bring Ash into the plot of the series. And, you know, it could work that way. But this is prior to the series having a time skip. You know, prior to all the stuff that happened there. So a lot of my ideas wouldn't work anymore. Because I was like, man, imagine if a Methio, you know, Zirconconia met Team Rocket. And then Team Rocket makes like a snide joke where like, hey, these chumps replaced us. That would be funny. That'd be just a funny little nod to the fact that they're no longer in the series and like, hey, these are the bad guys now. We lost our jobs thanks to them. But yeah, that's the best way to do it. If you're gonna bring them back, do it in the movie. Like Horizon should do another special mini arc with the Kalos flashback training arc. Like do one for Ogerpon with the Loyal 3 with Carmen and Karen. Well, how would they weave that into the story? Are they gonna say, oh hey, this also happened back when we were in Kitakami randomly? I still have thoughts on what's probably gonna happen in the next arc, but yeah, I'll save it for when I do my Rayquaza Horizon arc review video, because I have some thoughts on that, or to save it for another time. I'm tired. I don't know why. It's a lazy Saturday, my dude, but it is a holiday weekend, so enjoy it. TNT Dynamite, hey, what's up? Hello, I like this episode today. As for the discussion, at least we are going to get a Horizon special in October. This is a first for the series, which is good, and it is canon too. If Horizon gives me no Kieran, I'm going to be sad. Arvin and Kieran deserve justice. I'm very upset with Arvin. Like, are we actually going to have anything for him except for him just showing up and smiling? Like, please. Like, we're in Paldea, man. Do something. One thing that is worth bringing up is that Diana also got stronger during the time skip. Just because she is old doesn't mean that she can't get stronger. Main characters aren't the only characters that get stronger. That is true. Let's also not forget in the games that you come, like, if you fight like the Elite Four or whatever, you know, there's some older members in the Elite Four, And in the newer games, you come back and their Pokemon are stronger, so there's that. I know the games and anime are different, but, just saying. We're never gonna get BBA, are we? I wouldn't give up hope on that just yet, Pokefans, since we know that it exists. We know that Anne is possibly being scouted for going over there. Tells me that maybe we might go there at some point. Maybe she informs Liko that, hey, I'm going to the Blueberry Academy. And maybe Miss Briere goes there or something like that and, wants to meet Liko there, and maybe they do a little bit of training there or something. I don't know. I wouldn't give up hope just yet. Do you think they will do a 7th epilogue arc? I don't know what the plan is. We'll learn more whenever we know what's going on in Arc 6, which my thought right now is that my current thought for the next arc is going to be rescuing the hero Pokemon. Like, this Mega Voltage arc was basically getting the gang back together, and we'll also kind of figuring out the whole Strong Spheres Rakuium stuff at the same time. This upcoming arc is going to be rescuing the hero Pokemon, I feel. I don't think we're going to rescue the hero Pokemon in 2 episodes. Because we know 1 episode in September is going to be, the Tinkatuff evolution. I think the episodes after that are going to be meeting up with Metheo's dad. Maybe having another brawl with the explorers, but we're not going to... I don't think we're going to save the hero Pokemon yet. It'd be kind of weird if it's like in 2 episodes like, oh, we saved them. We did it. I feel like we're going to have to, work towards it. Though I could be proven wrong considering the pacing for this arc, but who knows. I feel like Arc 6 is going to be the rescuing the hero Pokemon. We'll see. We'll see what happens once we get these episode titles and summaries for the next 2 episodes after the Tinkatuff evolution episode. Also, again, just want to remind you guys to like the stream. Let's get the 10 likes. We need 3 more to get the 10. Can we do it? And also vote in the poll. We are currently at 12 votes, and we are tied for 10, 9, and 8-7. So we might need a tiebreaker vote here. Not gonna lie, I was worried at one point Ogerpon was gonna be in that Dusk Ball. I didn't think about that, actually. I kind of felt it would be... I wasn't thinking Ogerpon mainly because I'm like, well, Alt's from Kalos, so why would he have Ogerpon, Unless his dad went to Kitakami when he was younger and got Ogerpon and just kept him in that ball. Dragonite still surprises me. I think it is still possible for them to visit Blueberry Academy for Briere, maybe. Speaking, now that you bring that up, we did talk to Miss Briere again, so maybe that's what leads us there along with Anne? Maybe. Well, Diana getting stronger despite being old is something Poke4X brought up to show another reason why Liko lost this training battle. Which is fine, but also the main reason she lost was because Charcadet is inexperienced, number 1. Number 2, Meowscarada kind of had to jump in and save Charcadet. Otherwise, it was going down. So, once again, if that was a little bit of a crutch that Meowscarada had, If that didn't happen, Meowscarada would have still been in, would have still been battle ready, So, just because it won as a Florgato doesn't mean that Arcanine didn't get any weaker over the 1 year. It definitely got stronger, and it still got that type advantage. I remember before this episode was revealed, people thought Diana was dead. Why would people... It's just like with frickin' Ludlow. I'm like, why? It's only been 1 year. That's funny, though. I remember when people thought Ludo was ripped. Yep. They can't be rescued in 2 episodes unless, for some reason, the explorers decide to put all the 5 hero Pokemon in one place. Yeah, I think we're gonna rescue them, but, it would be very soon to go to Amethio's dad. And he's like, "Oh, yep, they're here. Go now. Strike while the iron's hot." You're totally not going to get ambushed by everybody trying to do this. Though I think they're going to need help with getting the hero Pokemon, though. You know, it won't be just them. I think that might be when Freed makes his return, though. I do wonder if Freed is going to be making his appearance at the end of this arc, or if it's going to be in Arc 6 sometime. Guess we'll find out soon enough, right? Arc 3 was the training arc. Arc 4 was getting the hero Pokemon together arc. Arc 5 is getting the gang back together arc. And Arc 6 is rescuing the hero Pokemon again arc. Honestly, it's pretty funny to see people jump to conclusions. Although, like, they're old, but sheesh. I don't know why you would think it's... okay, I mean, a lot can happen in 1 year, but, like... really? It's not like 10 years passed. I'm like, okay, if 10 years passed, I'm like, okay. There's a chance that they didn't make it during that 10 years. But 1 year, they're more than likely alive, bro. Would love if Freed got a new Pokemon to substitute for Cat Bean with the Rhino Tacklers. Wouldn't that be a surprise? Look, if he gets a new Pokemon, can it be not a non-Kanto Pokemon, please and thanks? Because I don't want him showing up and be like, hey guys, guess what? I'm back. And look at what I got. I got a Blastoise and a Venusaur. Yay! To complete the Kanto Trio starters. Like, make maybe like a new Pokemon or something that hasn't been showcased yet. That'd be cool. I wonder if the Explorers capture Rayquaza off screen, and that's like the last hidden surprise card they end up finding out about. I don't know how I feel about that. There's somebody in this other server that's convinced that Rayquaza is going to be captured, and I'm like, is it really though? It's kind of chilling out in the Dragon's Den. If the Explorers capture it, they would have known for a while. Unless Spinel's been spying on Liko, Roy, and the others like longer than we thought, and that's how we find out about it. But when they have made moves to get it already, I know it's arresting, but like I don't think it's gonna go down like very easily. You think Freed got a new Pokemon during the 1 year time skip? Well, we'll find out. Like, they rescue the 5, and they're like, we did it! And Spinel's like, congrats on rescuing the 5 of them. Guess what? While you were doing that, I got Rayquaza, so joke's on you. And now it's affected by the strong sphere, so it's under my control now. Yay! My evil plan has succeeded. It's just Victory Bell. Oh. Oh, Lord. I guess they gotta show more ZA representation, am I right? A Pokemon would fit Freed. I don't know. It's hard to say. He's got a Charizard and a Pikachu. So, can like something like be non-Kanto, please? Please and thanks. That's all I ask. I don't think it will. I'm just trying to think of a possible antics he could pull as a surprise card. That's a good point. Do you think Rayquaza could Mega Evolve? Maybe. I mean, maybe if Roy gets it, maybe he Mega Evolves it, but it's already OP already without it. Like, my goodness. If Roy ends up actually getting Rayquaza at the end of the series, yeah, just give him the trophy. Be like, nope, you don't even have to go through the league. Here you go, you're champion. Please don't hurt us. If I fire a million shots, at least one is bound to hit the mark, right? Yeah, I'd say so. I actually confirmed Mega Rayquaza would happen a while back in the magazine. Oh boy. Roy's about to become so OP, you just don't. Is anyone actually going to stand up to him at a certain point? Arcanine would be great to sleep with since it's a... Okay, you already said that already, Sharon. Pretty much said that. Okay, once again, I'm say we... if you guys could hit that like button. If you've already hit the like button, you've already done your part. But for those that haven't, can we get to 10 likes? We're 3 likes away from it. Can we do it? And also remember to vote in the poll because we got 12 votes and we have a tie right now. Cuddle with Eevee. I have no idea, Sharon. Very subjective. Would you? Turning the question back on you. Also, by the way, we've been going on for over an hour now. I've kind of lost track of time, not gonna lie. It's been a pretty enjoyable stream, not gonna lie. Corviknight Taxi is in the next episode, yep. Really not much to say for the next episode, just that we know that Tinkaduff, it's evolving. It's evolving, there's no way it's not. It's very plainly, obviously going to be evolving in this episode. If it doesn't, I'd be like, okay, what? When's it gonna evolve then? And then we know Songo and Onyx are in the episode, so we haven't seen them in a while, so that's nice. Looks like Dot's going up against them by herself. Unless the others kind of come in there, so we got another Dot focus episode. I keep thinking Freed... Oh, wait a second, I'm kind of getting ahead of myself, sorry. Also, can we just address the elephant in the room about the fact that the preview for next week we see Tinkaduff and Gimmighoul working the hammer with Corviknight parts? Yeah, it's rip Corviknight, I guess. I'm guessing Tinkaduff will evolve fighting Songo in the next episode. I would assume so. Oh yeah, I keep thinking Freed is from Hoenn because he is childhood friends with Orla, but I forgot they grew up in Kanto and Orla moved to Hoenn. Yep. Rip Amethio's Corviknight. Is Corviknight though? Because I think that they don't... I think it's a different one. Mitch, do you have any significant complaints about the series? If so, can you share them? Oh, geez. Kind of putting me on the spot there. Significant? I think Kilowattrel still is probably one of my biggest issues, that it's just not doing as much as it should be. I'm trying to think what other significant complaints do I have. That's one of the bigger ones. Pacing can be off sometimes, but I don't consider that like a significant issue in the series. I just think it's like earlier in the series, the treatment for like the other mons, I think that was probably one of my biggest issues with Horizons. Just because it felt very weird. I like that there's more focus on other mons now, but yeah, that's probably like my biggest issue with Horizons. Starting to slowly get better, but Kilowattrel, Heterim need to do more. I guess another one would be Arven's just showing up in episode 67 and still, you know, over 100 episodes in, not having any significance in the series. I would consider that an issue. He's a very he's one of the most popular characters from the game. In my opinion, one of the better aspects of the game. And yeah, so I'm a little bit disappointed that he hasn't done anything yet. But I'm still kind of holding my breath there because he still could make an appearance here soon. And actually, do stuff. I would also like to see Blueberry Academy represented in the series. Like, one of my biggest issues with the prior series is that even though I didn't really care for the DLC for Isle of Armor, I would have still liked to see it represented in the series. And the only thing we got was Urshifu's showing up, and that's not enough in my opinion. So like if we're gonna like have like new areas to explore, stuff like that, like showcase it. But I can't really say anything about that yet because the series is not over. So I would like Blueberry Academy to show up. I'm just happy seeing Demon Pudding again. Because I was about to joke that it's funny that despite Freed being from Holland, he's got all Kanto Pokemon, but then I remembered that's not the case. Yep. Gigaton bashes Glalie with Gigaton Hammer. Heteran development is still lacking. Lately, yeah. I mean, Charcadet has kind of been the new Mon, so I get why he's getting focused, but Heteran sorely needs it too. Kilowattrel got those 2 episodes to develop as a Wattrel, and that's it. And that was it. It's sad. Yeah. Kilowattrel should have had a couple focus episodes. It should have had more than just the 2 it got. One where Roy teaches it to fly, and the other where Wattrel and Fuecoco work together with Roy to strengthen their bond. Yep. Maybe like some Sky focus episode and another maybe where Kilowattrel has to retrieve something but gets into a problem. That could work. There was no Clarax in the series that shall not be named. Yeah. Very jarring decision in my opinion. And honestly a wasted potential. I asked that because earlier you said you have complaints about the series. My only issue is Roy becoming a Gary Stu and beating the Monon, the secondary Mons until the current arc. Well, I think what I said earlier is that there are legitimate, it was kind of a response to what Pokefan was saying earlier about the people that were coming up with the nonsensical stuff. I was like, there are things that you can totally criticize of the series, and one of them is not Liko a walking out. I mean, we've watched her development in the series. She went from a noob trainer. She's more competent now. She ain't gonna win every single battle, but, she ain't weak, was what I was getting at. I said there's legitimate criticisms of the series, but, that's not one of them. I mean, I would say the secondary Mons is still a legitimate complaint. I think that, Tingatuff evolving here in this next episode showcases that. It's actually, it was the last one of the 3 caught, and I feel like it's kind of gotten the best, honestly. It's gotten more focused than the other 2. Heteran has kind of just disappeared into the background. Kind of sad, honestly. We would love to see Heteran and Charcadet battle against Diana, but it made a lot of sense why Masquerada was used, so I can't complain. Yeah, I'm not really complaining there. I just hope that Heteran does something soon before it eventually evolves. If it evolves. Well, I'm going to hop off and probably go eat. Been fun like always. Have a great day or night wherever you're at. Alrighty, Pokefan. Hopefully your lunch is delicious. Hopefully we'll see you in the next one. It'll be Sunday next time, remember. Probably Sunday this time. So, yeah. Kilowattrel should get an episode where it has to guide the ship through a storm because it is based on a storm pet trail. That would be cool. I would actually like that. That's a good idea for an episode. You know, it's an episode where they're going somewhere and it has to guide them through. That would be cool. I'd like that. And Tough, I think, needed a bit more development before evolving in the next episode. It did. I think it had like the... You know, its development has been kind of fast. Charcadet is taking the spotlight away from Headroom. I mean, it's the new one. It's a new mon. I like that it is getting spotlight. It is kind of sad that Headroom has kind of fallen to the wayside, though. Yep, but it's a new Pokemon, so I get it. Yeah, and they're doing a good job with it right off the gate. Gimmighoul, I think its development is going to be just at gathering coins and tricking Dot into gathering coins for it all over the place until it eventually evolves. I'm wondering when Quaxwell and Croclar are going to evolve here. If they fully evolve, because I think those will be the first series where all 3 starters fully evolve. If that happens. We're really close to that, too. I can't complain too much. I'm just glad Charcadet is actually getting development. So as long as Headroom gets something in the end, I won't mind sacrificing Headroom for the time being. Gotcha. I'm totally okay with Liko losing because Diana is supposed to be a mentor figure. And just because you beat a trainer once doesn't mean you cannot lose them again. It shows that Diana got stronger too. I agree with that. I actually agree with that. That's a great point. The fact that, you know, Liko is doing that well against her, like, you know, grandma, who's probably got, like, many years of experience, shows that Liko isn't a chump. She's keeping up with her grandmother pretty well. It's also, again, factor in the fact that Charcadet is still relatively inexperienced and is still, you know, learning and growing. And it's eventually, when it gets its evolution, it's going to be very confident. It's going to be nice to see once we get to that point. So it's developing just fine, in my opinion. Putting it on the back burner. Gotcha. Anywho, we are kind of just to jump in here and say we've been going on for an hour and 22 minutes according to my live counter here, or there's live timer here. So we got one more like to 10. Can we get that before we end today's stream? Be cool. But anything you guys got with me before we kind of head on out here soon? Nice discussion, by the way. It's been fun like always. I think this one's been a pretty fruitful one. And that's why I like doing these discussions, because we can all sit here and kind of just brainstorm what we think is happening next. It's pretty neat. I kind of like how these streams have developed. Look at that. We've gotten development with these live discussions. See what I did there? Talking and sharing the ideas is fun. Yep, exactly. I mean, I'm not no expert here. I'm just hosting the whole thing. Which is a Pokemon and has gotten development. You could say that. I am a Mander, by the way. A Mitchell Mander. I mean, like, I always say this, like, for the people that have kind of come, you know, that are kind of relatively newer here, you know, you go back and look at when I started these. Very different. I was also kind of combining them with my game streams back then. Until I kind of realized, like, yeah, people are only here for the discussion, so if I'm going to sit here and still stream games, people aren't going to be here for that, so definitely refine these after a while. And I was only going to do the first 10 episodes of Horizons in the beginning. And that, I only did that because I'm like, if this series is like, if this series is going to be like the prior series, I don't want to do this for every single episode, but here we are. It's been a very enjoyable series, and I'm glad I'm still doing this, actually. It's been a fun ride. So when this series finally comes to an end, it's going to be very bittersweet. But anyways, for today's stream, do you guys have anything else before we wrap things up here? Because we're approaching the 1.5 hour mark here. We have a really nice Kirby lo-fi music playing in the background. If you could be a regular Pokemon, not a legendary, mythical, or ultra beast, or paradox, what would you want to be? Huh. If Nick was here, I'd say Incineroar. But I don't know. I guess very generic and a very generic response, but like maybe Charmander just to just to match up with my name on here. Will you do live discussion on the next series? I have not decided that, Sharon. To be honest with you, I was going to be done with Journeys, aka the series that shall not be named. But then when the information on Horizons came out, I became intrigued by it, so I decided, I'm like, okay, in the beginning we'll go ahead and do live discussions for the first 10 episodes. And we'll see what happens from there. I'm either going to do it or I might hand the torch over to someone else. We'll see. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. Anyways, anyone got anything else for today's stream? This is the last call for that. Okay. Things are starting to kind of chill down here in the chat. I'm good. I'm glad to hear your opinion on the episode. I hope good things for Liko and the others. Me too. Me too. Got nothing else to say. Nice stream. We'll see you the next week. Sounds good, Sharon. Thank you for chit-chatting with us today. Alright, if that's the case, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up today's stream. 1 like shy of 10, but it's okay. We got close enough. Got nothing else right now either. Got you. Well, we're going to go ahead and wrap things up. I'm hungry, so I need to go eat. And then chill for the rest of my Saturday. It's Labor Day weekend, and I'm out of town the next 2 days, so I'm just going to chill. Get some food here, and did we hit 10 likes? We might have hit 10 likes before the end of the stream. Thank you. Been fun. I hope everyone has a nice day, evening. Hope you enjoy your food. Well, thank you. Appreciate it. And with that said, we are going to go ahead. Yep, we hit 10 likes. Thank you all. Gonna hit in the poll. We have a tie. 10-9 and 8-7 tie for the poll. I'm giving the episode a 7, so it's a 7 in my book. Did the poll just disappear? That's weird. Oh no, it posted. Alright, anyways guys, we're gonna wrap up today's stream. For this upcoming week, I'm considering coming back to gaming streams here. I took a little bit of a break this week, but we might come back next week. I do want to sit down and actually write my Rayquaza Rising arc review. Get that before the Mega Voltage ends here, and then I have to do 2 long videos. That'll be fun. But I gotta get to actually working on that when I'm not being lazy. But anyways, we'll see what goes on next week. We'll see how we're feeling. This, like I said, the Horizon stream won't be on Saturday next week as I am busy. It will be Sunday instead at 12 p.m. Eastern Time Zone. So pretty much the same time as usual, but a day later. And then I think the third weekend in September, I'm going to be out of town. So that weekend we'll be doing the stream, I think, Sunday night. So So just an FYI for that stream. I think for episode 111. Yeah. Anyways, that's all I got for today. So if you're still here, thank you so much for joining me today. Have a great day or night wherever you're at. And I will see you all later. Bye.